I would like to talk about the health of a medium because I recently stumbled on someone who said, well, you who are a healer and a medium, how comes that you have diseases like my diabetes, my thyroid problem? I went through a Lyme disease who hit the nervous system and everything. So if you are a healer and a medium, you should be so in tune within your body and you should be able to listen to it, take care of it and, don't have any health issues. Well, the problem is you see that, I might be a healer, I might be a medium, but I'm also a human being. And I have issues like everybody else. I get stressed like everybody else. I get nervous like everybody else. And I worry a lot sometimes. And that takes its toll on his body. I mean, I went through hell for over 10 years with my Lyme disease who hit the nervous system. I lost my balance, I lost my mind, I lost my, my feelings, the sensitivity. I couldn't pick things up, like I used to do. And I remember I cried every time I packed my bag to go out doing my work. And I couldn't feel, I couldn't sense, I couldn't hear the spirit anymore. And I just wanted to sit in my sofa and not doing anything, Every noise around me, it was like it was screaming in my ears. And before I got my Lyme disease, I went through 10 years of hell with my ex-husband and then 10 years of these different diseases. And then my mom and my dad became very sick and I was living almost 3 hours away from them. So only child, no one could look after them. Both my sons are living even further away from them. So it was a lot of stress, and I think that was what happens, the stress and anxiety who tipped me over the edge, so to speak. So I got my diabetes. So yes, I'm aware that I'm stressing, I'm aware of it, but sometimes I can't handle it anyway because I'm worrying like everybody else when your loved ones are suffering. And when you can't be there, when you're not close by to them, you only have the phone, it's really stressful and you feel like a shitty daughter because you're too far away from them. So yes, we decided to move back home so I can be closer to them. Unfortunately, my mom died before we moved in here. She died 29th of December last year and we moved in the 20th of January last year. So it's almost been a year now and I'm finally starting to relax. But I'm also getting lazy. It's like when I found this relaxation and stress-free environment and I haven't done much work for a month now and I usually take a month off. Usually we go to Thailand for a month to just let go of everything. This year we couldn't because I have to take care of my dad, of course, who has Alzheimer's and dementia. And it's a worry every day, and he doesn't answer the phone sometimes. That's a worry. You're coming there and you're realizing he hasn't changed his clothes for several days maybe, and he refused help from the community. And so it's stressing and you worry because you care of the people. You care about your parents, and you can't hide away from that. I can't just go in and be cold, stone cold, and I don't have to worry. Everything will sort itself out. Yeah, it will eventually. But I'm a human being as well, and I do worry a lot. And I think my worry and my concern also belongs to my sensitivity and my emotions and my empathy and everything. And I think that's what you need to be doing the work I'm doing. If I don't care about the people that contacting me, that want a session with me or whatever, I shouldn't be doing this work because I give my heart to them when I'm working. And that's also stressful because when you're going to do a session with someone, if you're doing a reading or a private sitting or mentorship or whatever, I want to be at my best. And I'm good actually to put my mind to one side and just focus on the job. So for me, my job is a little bit of a relief, so to speak. It's like I'm going on a holiday. But before I start to work, I'm stressful. I might even have anxiety because I put pressure on myself. And I think every medium does that. And because we're living constantly and working so hard some of us, we're working, for me who has had this as a full-time job, and I finally after 30 plus years learned to cut down my work, because you don't know if you have an income, so you book your calendar because you don't know if they're going to get cancelled or if you're going to have a job. So there's always been stress, and stress is the biggest killer, I think, for your immune system. That's what I think. Stress and bad nutrition. And when you're traveling, you're not focusing on the food as much as well. But thank God now, the people I'm working with, I make sure they can cook. No, I'm kidding. But I have learned to cut down. So I go to people that I love to work with, that I know I've been good taken care of. And I don't fly that much anymore. And it just came to a point where the anxiety hit me like no tomorrow. And when I should book the flights, I had such an anxiety to get it right, because I'd done it so wrong so many times and I messed it up so many times. And that's stress doing that. So, but what I didn't realize, this was connected with my menopause. And I didn't realize that, yeah, you heard of the hot, flashes you get, but I didn't realize it creates such more problem that it did. So I'm finally on the medication, has been for a year, and my anxiety is down to a very low place now. And I still get it, because we're also a creature of habit. So sometimes, even when it's peaceful and calm, and I know I don't have to look at work, I don't have to look at my emails or anything, I don't have to be involved that much for a month now. After 2-3 weeks I get anxiety because I haven't done a lot, So I'm my worst enemy. And of course the body have to suffer. If the mind is stupid, the body suffer, as we say. And my mind is obviously very stupid from time to time. But joked aside, it's a lot of medium who suffer from a lot of illnesses, so to speak. And I believe it is because we are too much of a healer. We care too much, and that's why we worry a lot. And you also work a lot. And if I got it right from the spirit, they use a lot of our body, they use the pancreas and everything, and the things within us to create certain things. So, especially if you're sitting a lot like I have done for trance and things like that. And even though it is a healing session and you feel elated afterwards, you're still giving a lot from yourself that you maybe didn't realize. But I think the biggest killer for me has been the environment around me, especially my work, the pressure I put on myself, that I have learned to chill out now quite a lot. But when you're doing a session for someone and they put all their hopes into you, it's really, really scary, I think. Because I have to weigh my words so carefully, because it's like a law to some of them. And it's really hard. I'd rather say too little than I say too much. And that can also be frustrated for the sitter. And you feel when the sitter is frustrated because they want answers that I might not have a clue about, because I'm not God. And I don't know the futures all the time, and very rare actually. And sometimes you get a little bit of information, but am I sure I am interpreting it right? Or am I saying what I want to hear? Or am I actually picking up what's there? So even when I'm working and I can find it scary at the time, I trust the energy. But like I say, I'd rather say too little than too much, because I don't want to be the bad guy afterwards when they say, you told me, Mia, and nothing happened that you told me. So I'm actually quite careful today. And another thing that I've learned over the year is to not complicate things too much for me. I asked for help for the first time a couple of years ago, or I accepted help from Claudio, who helps me with my webpage and everything. He is gold to me. And to actually have broken my own promise, because when I was 18 and I was moving home for the first time, my mom actually told me that you will never ever, Mia, be able to manage by your own. And I made a promise there and then, I will never ever ask for help in my whole life. I will manage by myself. And I have done that. But I more or less hit the wall after everything that's been happening with the Lyme disease, as I said, who hit the nervous system, with my thyroid problem, with COVID, with my diabetes, and I got Sjögren's, it's another disease that dry out things in your body. And so it's been quite a roller coaster. And I also done 2 hip replacements. They fucked them up, sorry for my language, but they messed them up. So yeah, I'm 2 centimeters longer now, and one leg is still 7 millimeters out from the other. So I walk like a duck, you know, and that also gives me a lot of pain. So it's been years of heartache, hardship when it comes to my health. And I'm so appreciated that my mind has surrendered more or less to it's okay. It's okay. I don't have to feel like when I was 35, because it's never going to happen again. It's okay that I'm not as sharp, as bright as I used to be back in the day. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to share. And you know, I don't have to have control, because I have no control of anything anyway. So I just surrender a little bit more, I think, for every year that goes, because I'm learning more and more how important my health is and my life as well. But you see, the human being is a little bit tricky, or our mind is, because we also want to feel that we have value and that we do something so we feel a worth, so to speak. So therefore, I need also to do things that makes me happy, to feel that I am accomplishing things. So even though I often say that if I could retire, I would. And just be lazy, have nothing that I have to do, no pressure, nothing. But my God, I notice when I'm free for a month, I get bored out of my skull after a while. The only thing I really, really miss from the back in the days today is my energy to my creative side, because that has never came back after the Lyme disease. And I miss that. I miss that drive of it's itching in you. You have to draw, you have to do things, you have to create things. I lost that. But at least I've noticed that I'm enjoying my spirit art more when I'm out working with it now. And so that's a bonus. And that tells me that my mind is a little bit clearer or healthier than it was back in the day. So yes, even if we medium have a sensitivity and awareness, we can't protect ourselves. We are human beings with our flaws, and we get diseases and everything else that everybody else is getting. And why wouldn't we? Why would I spare us because we choose to work for the spirit world, or we choose to work with energy? Well, I don't believe that we should have any benefits than anybody else, you know. But what I do believe in is that everybody should try to be the best version of themselves. Try to be a good person, try to be a kind person, try to be a generous person. And I don't necessarily mean money-wise, but to give time from yourself to someone else is very, very important, because in this society now, there is quite a lot of stress, and you have to work more, you have to study more, you know, and there's not much time really to play around a lot of time. So to find a balance there where you also have free time, I think is very important, you know, to take time for self. But yeah, who said working as a medium should be easy, you know? And we lose a lot of good potential mediums who are really good, not because they are not, you know. We lose them because of the pressure they put on themselves. And I spoke about this before. So if you're a working medium out there, yeah, accept that you get sick like everybody else, but be kind to yourself, you know. You can only do what you can do, you know, and we can never please everybody anyway. So regardless how hurtful it is, when people don't like you, everybody can't like you because you're not clicking and you're not their cup of tea, and that's fine, you know. You will work with the people that should come your way. So try to just enjoy it. And I also notice, I want to mention one little thing, and that is that how you're thinking is really, really important, because it's so easy to go down in the spiral of negativity. So when that happens and you become aware of it, change it as soon as you can, because no one will suffer more than yourself in that case. And for me, my work is all about healing. So even if I'm doing a platform demonstration and bringing the loved one through, it's all about bringing that healing through. I mean, you can be the best medium in the world with facts. But if you don't have any healing and compassion and empathy there, it's quite a cold message, you know. So I believe there needs to be a little bit of compassion and evidence, you know. But I'm rambling away here now from one thing to another, I think. But there you go. Have a great week and talk to you soon. Bye.